There is a heating system you can build this weekend for $150 in bricks and clay. It heats an entire home for 24 hours on a single armload of wood. Not a cord of wood, not a monthly gas bill, one armload. It burns 90% cleaner than a conventional stove, produces almost no smoke, and generates so much radiant heat that the surface you sleep on stays warm for 12 hours after the fire goes out. The Koreans perfected this 3,000 years ago. The Romans engineered it into every villa across their empire. The Chinese have run it continuously for 2,000 years, and the $200 billion global heating industry has spent 50 years making sure it never appears in a building code or a contractor's catalog. They did not bury this because it failed. They buried it because it worked too well on too little fuel to ever generate a recurring revenue stream. This is the forgotten story of the rocket mass heater, the most thermally efficient heating system humanity ever built, and the energy industry that replaced it with a gas bill designed to arrive every month until you die. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. This is where we crack open the vaults. The energy industry prays you never find. Subscribe now and ring the bell. Every vault we open, they wish we would not. Travel back 3,000 years to the Korean peninsula. The winters there are brutal. Temperatures drop well below freezing for months. And yet the people living there had no central heating, no gas lines, no electric radiators. What they had was stone, clay, and fire. Korean builders discovered that running exhaust gases from a small fire through flat stone channels beneath the floor turned the entire floor surface into a radiant heating panel. The fire burned for a few hours in the evening. The stone absorbed the heat, and for the next 12 to 16 hours, the floor released that stored warmth slowly and evenly into the living space above. No electricity, no thermostat, no fuel delivery, just thermal physics working silently through the night. They called this ondol. It has been in continuous use for over 3,000 years. Archaeological evidence dates early systems to 1000 BC. Modern Korean apartments still use underfloor radiant heating as the standard. The physics has not changed, only the fuel source has. The Romans reached the same conclusion independently and scaled it into an engineering achievement. They called their version the hypocaust. Raised floors over hollow brick columns allowed hot gases from an external furnace to flow beneath every room and up through hollow walls. The floor became a continuous radiant surface. Roman villas, public baths, and military barracks across Britain, Germany, and North Africa all ran on this system. No electricity, no gas, wood, stone, and brick. Some of those buildings are still standing. In China, the Kang system operated on identical principles for 2,000 years. A raised brick sleeping platform built over a small combustion chamber, absorbed heat, and radiated it for hours afterward. Families across northern China slept on warm brick through winters that would freeze modern pipes. In Russia, the Kuznetsov stove, a massive clay and brick thermal mass heater, has warmed homes for 300 years on a fraction of the wood a conventional stove requires. The engineering varies. The physics is identical. Heat the mass, let the mass heat the room. Burn almost nothing, stay warm for a full day. Stay with me, because the combustion science behind the modern version of this system is what the heating industry most desperately wants buried. But first, everything they hid is inside the complete forbidden outdoor vault. Ancient heating, water purification, emergency shelters, natural wound treatment, food preservation, over 10 guides in one place. The link is in the description, but stay here because what comes next exposes the exact engineering they do not want you to understand. The modern rocket mass heater takes every principle those ancient civilizations discovered and optimizes it using 20th century combustion physics. The critical innovation is the J-tube combustion chamber. A horizontal feed channel connects to a vertical burn tunnel that acts as an internal chimney. This geometry creates a powerful natural draft pulling air through the burning wood at high velocity, reaching combustion temperatures of over 1,100 degrees Celsius. At that temperature, the wood gases that conventional stoves waste as smoke are fully combusted into heat. A traditional wood stove captures 40 to 50% of available wood energy. A rocket mass heater captures 80 to 90%. You are burning the same piece of wood twice, once as solid fuel and once as gas. That superheated gas flows through an insulated barrel and into a long horizontal channel, built into a thermal mass bench made from cob, a mixture of clay, sand, and straw, costing almost nothing. By the time exhaust exits the flue, it has been cooled so dramatically it is barely warm to the touch. The fire burns so completely that a rocket mass heater produces less air pollution than many gas appliances. One firing of 2 to 3 hours heats the mass thoroughly. That mass radiates warmth for 12 to 24 hours. No additional wood required. The global residential heating market generates over $200 billion annually. Natural gas suppliers, propane distributors, boiler manufacturers, heat pump installers, every one depends on a model where you pay for fuel every month of every winter for the rest of your life. That is not a heating system. That is a subscription written in cold weather. The average American household spends $1,500 to $3,000 per year on heating. Over 30 years, that is up to $90,000 paid to energy companies for warmth you could generate from scrap wood and $150 of bricks. You cannot patent clay. You cannot trademark brick. You cannot attach a monthly service contract to thermal mass that heats itself by physics, so the industry did not compete with this technology. They wrote it out of existence. Building codes were drafted requiring certified commercial appliances only. Any DIY heating system exists in a regulatory gray zone that makes it non-compliant in most jurisdictions. The gas lobby participated directly in drafting energy efficiency standards that favored metered fuel supplies. The result is a legal framework protecting $200 billion in annual revenue by making the most efficient heating system ever built effectively illegal to install in a permitted structure. If you have made it this far, you already know more about heating efficiency than any contractor who has ever handed you a gas boiler. Quote, the vault link is in the description. Now here is exactly what to do. The basic components are fire brick for the combustion chamber, standard brick or stone for the thermal mass channels, a metal barrel for the heat riser, cob for the exterior mass, and standard flue pipe for the exhaust. Total material cost for a system heating a single room runs $50 to $150. A full home system runs $150 to $400. Much of the material can be salvaged. The J-tube dimensions are critical. The feed tube, burn tunnel, and heat riser must share the same internal cross-sectional area for the draft physics to work. For a standard home system, this area is 100 to 120 square centimeters. The heat riser must be at least twice the height of the horizontal burn tunnel. Insulate the heat riser with perlite or vermiculite to maintain combustion temperatures. The thermal mass bench should hold 4 to 6 meters of horizontal channel to absorb maximum heat. The exhaust must exit lower than the top of the heat riser. Build a test fire before sealing any channels. A properly functioning system creates a strong inward draft at the feed tube and produces almost no visible smoke. Heavy smoke means the geometry needs adjustment. Ianto Evans and Linda Smiley documented the full construction method in their book Rocket Mass Heaters, first published in 2006. The complete engineering specifications are in the public domain. Thousands of owner-built systems are operating across North America, Europe, and Australia. The Koreans have been warm on one armload of wood for 3,000 years. The Romans heated entire cities with clay, brick, and fire. The Chinese perfected it across 2 millennia. A builder in Oregon heats his entire 1,200 square foot home through full Pacific Northwest winters on less than a third of a cord per year. His heating bill, $60. His neighbor's gas bill, $2,200. The physics is settled. The history spans 3,000 years. The cost is $150. They did not bury this because it failed. They buried it because a heating system built from clay and brick that runs on almost no fuel cannot generate 50 years of monthly gas bills. The thermal mass never received an invoice. It just kept working, the same way it will work for you. Subscribe and share this with someone still paying a heating bill they should never have to pay. Every share preserves what the industry spent 50 years trying to erase. The next vault opens soon. What is inside weighs even heavier.